Dr. Lim Wee Kiak.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, can I take PQs 10 to 14 together, please?
Yes, and we can keep your response succinct, if possible. Try.
Sir, smoking and secondhand smoke exposure are associated with at least 11 major medical conditions that accounted for about $180 million of healthcare costs in 2019. Our consistent policy approach has been to reduce our smoking rates and encourage smokers to quit. We do not have comparable figures of the smoking quit rate in the past 2 years as requested by Dr. Lim Wee Kiak, but our tobacco control measures have been successful. It has progressively reduced smoking prevalence rates from 11.8% in 2017 to 10.1% in 2020. The most effective has been tobacco tax. Several economic studies have reached a consensus that for every 10% increase in real price, there will be about a 3 to 5% decrease in overall tobacco consumption, a 3.5% reduction in young people taking up smoking, and a total of about 3 to 5% reduction of new young people taking up smoking as well. But it was last increased in 2018. So with inflation and more income increases, the tax burden gets eroded over time. And we will have to continue to work with the Ministry of Finance to review the tobacco tax rate. In 2020, standardized packaging and enhanced graphic health warnings were required for all tobacco products sold here in Singapore to reduce the attractiveness of cigarettes. It is, however, still too early to evaluate the effectiveness of this measure. We also progressively raised the minimum legal age for smoking from 19 years in 2019 to 21 years in January 2021. This aims to denormalize tobacco use among youth below the age of 21, restrict their access to tobacco products in their social circles, and hence reduce the likelihood of smoking initiation. It has contributed to a decline in smoking among younger adults aged 18 to 29 years, from 9.8% in 2017 to 8.8% in 2020. MOH and HPB will be piloting a new smoking cessation program where eligible individuals will be offered subsidized nicotine replacement therapy that is complemented with counseling in our public healthcare institutions. Smokers who are looking for support to quit can also join the HPB's I Quit program. It offers smokers a range of smoking cessation interventions, such as phone or face-to-face counseling, or frequent nudges via text messages to encourage participants to sustain their behaviors. There has been several questions raised by the MPs on New Zealand's recently announced cohort smoking ban. It is an attractive proposal in that it prevents young people from taking up smoking while not putting too many restrictions on older smokers. Then, of course, as the years go by, more and more cohorts are smoking-free. MOH is open to studying such a policy, but we need to take into account a few considerations. First, in Singapore's case, young people are generally not taking up smoking, unlike the youth in many other countries. Our youth today no longer see smoking as glamorous and are aware of its harms. Second, our bigger challenge amongst the young people here are e-cigarettes, which are still tobacco products and harmful to the users despite its fruity flavors. It is therefore outrightly banned here in Singapore, but with e-commerce, they still find their way here. We will need to do more to enforce the current ban to push back against the tide of popularity and increasing use. If vaping becomes entrenched amongst the younger population, it undoes all the progress we've made on curbing smoking and will take an enormous effort over many years to curb its use. Although New Zealand have announced a cohort smoking ban, it promotes vaping as an alternative to smoking. So over time, the habit may well shift from smoking to vaping, which in itself is still harmful. Third, the challenge with a cohort ban is in enforcement. For such a ban to be effective, we would need to introduce laws to penalize older persons who are not subject to the ban, but for abetting offences such as supplying tobacco products to the affected cohorts. A similar proposal was discussed in Parliament in 2016 when amendments to the Tobacco Control of Advertisements and Sales Act were introduced, and MOH explained the challenge of implementation and enforcement then. Nevertheless, we remain open to the idea New Zealand's announcement ban will be the first time a country will be implementing such a ban at a national level. We will study how New Zealand implements the ban, its effectiveness, and how their experience could be applied here to Singapore. My ministry will continue to enhance our approach to tobacco control through public education, provision of smoking cessation services, legislation, and taxation. We will also study new measures to further reduce access to tobacco products and tackle vaping, particularly among our youth. Thank you, sir.